being able to first confront like who I am, you know, you can't run from yourself, you can't hide from yourself. Like the best thing you can do for yourself is to embrace who you are, because that's when your authenticity really shows.
Yes.
Being able to like get in touch with who you are and like allow yourself the space for the things you like without fear of failure or without fear of like perception from others, or maybe even like doing those things in spite of it.
I think that's the beauty of diversity. I mean, you know, no matter what you are, you know, I think like people of color share a lot of principles and a lot of moral values, you know, with each other. I'm sure like when we will start talking, there'll be like so many things that we have in common, right?
Exactly.
And I think like that's how it is. Like you should just, you know, you should never judge a book by its cover.
Hello. Welcome to Situaseans podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Williams, aka seanydoo. You can call me Sean, seanydoo, does not matter to me. I'm just glad that y'all are here and I have two special guests here, two amazing guests. Thanks again to the recommendation of Christian Allen. You all have seen his episode. But today with me, I have Shannon K and Evelyn Wan. So I got some great bios here from you both. You mind if I read it to the audience and let them know all about you?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. All right, so Shannon is an Indian singer and actress that makes her big screen debut to Western audiences in the 2026 feature film, The Narcissist, with pop hits including Antidote and stages including Coachella. Okay, pop off, we love that. And back in 2025, as Shannon, she's amassed an international following of 3.6 million followers on Instagram and 41 million views on YouTube. Wow. She has worked with the likes of Kurt Hugo Schneider, performed original music for Prime Video films, including Chow Zindagi. Did I say that right?
Yes, Charles Zindagi.
Zindagi?
Yes.
There we go. Thank you.
course.
And has been featured on Sirius XM and on with Mario Lopez. Okay, with front covers including Forbes and Rolling Stone as a supporting actress in the Narcissist alongside Becca Brazil and Natalie Stavola. Oh, I know Natalie. You all saw Natalie's episode as well. Funny thing, Christian had connected with me after he saw Natalie's episode. He's like, "How do you know Natalie?" I was like, "Oh, we just kind of connected to like the acting space." But anyway, go back and watch Natalie's episode as well. But yeah, so Shannon, she's outspoken about human rights internationally and in the United States. She's an ambassador for the Vanderpump Dog Foundation. And will star in the 2026 television series Mystical Inheritance of Adina Hassan alongside Teen Wolf's Ryan Kelly. Wow, okay, we love that. Pop off. And then Evelyn Wan is a full-time reader for Prime Video, responsible for recommending adaptations of beloved straight-to-streaming Amazon Studio properties, including Red, White, and Royal Blue, and the upcoming Yesteryear. Okay. Dipping a toe into acting herself, Evelyn has led films for MFA thesis at Chapman University, AFI, Vertical Series, and stirred conversation related to Asian women in Hollywood with her role as Lexi Naraki in An Unplanned Milestone. Okay, we love that. As Lexi, Evelyn had sensitively challenged limiting perceptions of women of color and mothers. Okay, we love that representation. Yes. Telling these stories. And An Unplanned Milestone would go on to collect 80,000 critically needed children's and baby items for families in need with Baby to Baby, and Evelyn will represent Toys for Tots annual holiday red carpet. Okay, Evelyn's dance card continues as an assistant director on films, both feature and short, including The Narcissist, coming out this year, or did it already come out?
It will be coming
out. It will be coming out this year. Okay, and In the Eyes of Flies. Wow, welcome you both to the show. Great bios.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, for taking the time out of your day.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I just love going through these bios whenever I have guests on. Cause like lately I've been asking guests like, yeah, give me like some really good bios. I don't want to brag about you. Cause that's what, you all did the work. So boy, may as well let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, kind of just to start things off. So, are you both, LA based today? Like, are you from LA? Or tell me about your journey. How'd you ended up in LA?
You go first.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
Well, I guess I've been around the world almost. I was born in India. I grew up in London, and after that, I made my debut in the States. I was in New York for a year, and then I came down to LA. So now I can officially claim and call myself and call LA my home. So yeah.
All right, right on. We love that. And Evelyn, what about you?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I've been a couple of different places. I'm a Canadian born, And yeah, I lived in Canada for a couple years, then moved to England for a couple years. Cambridge, not London. But, yeah, and then lived in China for a good amount of time. And then I came here to UCLA for school. And then kind of, COVID times and everything, just hopped back and forth between Canada and here. And yeah, I guess now I've been here for a couple years, 2026 now. My goodness.
Yeah.
So yeah, otherwise, I guess you could say I'm an LA person now. It doesn't feel like it. But yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely. Wow. Awesome. Yeah, I recently moved to LA about a year and a half ago. I'm from Chicago.
Wow.
I got friends in Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so why'd you move over here then?
Yeah, it's pretty much like every artist out here just to move for all the arts and stuff. Yeah. It's funny because whenever I tell people, I'm like kind of just continuing, I'm like, continuing to like pursue like theater and stuff like that. They're like, why did you move to LA? Why not New York? I'm like, well, I want to do, like film as well. And most of the film stuff is out here. And I'm tired of like cold weather.
Okay, valid. I'm a cold weather stan myself, but that's understandable. Like, is there a part of you though that like really misses being in Chicago aside from the winters?
Yeah, I know they're brutal. I definitely love Chicago. Like, just like it's such a beautiful city. Like the food is great. Everything is there is just like it just feels like home. And so, I don't know. I feel like for me, because I got so used to just coming out here every other year before I moved out here, I was like, okay, it's kind of hard to like miss Chicago because I just want to be in LA. And then by the time I got out here, I was like, okay, cool. I'll visit Chicago maybe like once or twice a year, but yeah.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so I just want to thank the audience as well. Thanks again for tuning in to Situaseans podcast. This is about dating, relationships, and life experiences. And today we're talking about like the arts and entertainment and, like what it takes to navigate Hollywood, especially as, multi-talented artists, especially multi-talented artists who are women of color that are making an impact and making their voices heard and representing so many different communities and groups. So I just want to say off of that, thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so both of you wear like multiple hats. So you don't all do music, like you do music, Shannon, and you both are actors. You both read scripts and like you both like have experience in like, producing and directing and things of that nature. I kind of want to know like, what's the role that people don't realize is the hardest, and why does it low key, like not drain you, but kind of like require like the most kind of just energy to be put into it?
Ooh. Okay, I feel like you have more experience in more of those things. So I'm
like wearing so many hats. Yeah.
Literally.
Or just doing so many things. Yeah. Tell us.
Oh my gosh. I guess I would say like, being an artist, I think it all kind of revolves around like your emotions. And a lot of times, I think that's just a misunderstanding that you have with like people, especially like from the industry, right? They have like they're more business minded and oriented, whereas an artist is more like, into their emotions, and they're vulnerable and they're fragile and they're sensitive at times, especially when it's their project. It's like their baby, right? Whether it's music, film, whatever it may be. And so I think that's something that, a lot of people might not know or might not be aware about, is just how to be able to communicate with artists, and, just the lack of. And I guess like just mentally as well, it can get like super draining as well, because it's like you're the one who's being super passionate, and, you have to like always make sure that you're just like encouraged and, to wake up every day and to keep doing what you're doing, you know, and there's going to be like so many other people who are just kind of like maybe put you down or something, you know, but I guess it's just like, it's just how an artist needs to like, you know, that just shows the love that you have for your craft as an artist. So that's something that I feel like, that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah. Wow. That's a really great point. Thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
Yeah. What about you, Evelyn?
Okay, I mean, yes to all that. And I actually do have a very like a tangential question about that for the both of
Yeah.
you, which I'll answer, but like I'm so sorry to distract. It's just so I'm sure you both have experienced this as well as artists who are kind of like paving different paths. Like each path is different, right, in the industry. And you're paving your own path. And of course, there's no like guidebook on how to do that. No one tells you like to get to this spot, you have to do A, B, and C, and then you're there.
Right.
And obviously, you know, with art, since it's so personal and like there's so much of you in your art, no matter what project it is, like how do you two deal with like, I guess like feeling of like perfectionism and stuff, and like because you know, all artists have like a level or like a high standard that like all of us want to set for ourselves, right? To keep on reaching for the stars, to keep on finding new innovative like things and pathways. So like how do you both honestly like navigate that and that like constant feeling of like, you know, if your art is going to be perceived and shared to the world around you, like how do you deal with that? I'm so curious.
You know, I feel like for me, because I just love telling stories and just being able to kind of, you know, drive a narrative or kind of bring awareness to something. For me, and I don't know, I feel like I try to remind myself that I'm human, no matter how perfect I try to make a role or make, you know, some type of art, I guess, come to life. I know there's always going to be imperfection, because I think that's what makes art art is the imperfection of it all.
Totally.
So I think it's just staying true to yourself and just knowing like, okay, like what can I handle and what I cannot handle, and the things I cannot handle, you know, is it something that I feel that I'm, you know, able to kind of still wrap myself around to do, or is it something that's, you know, too difficult where it's like, okay, this is going to put me in an emotional kind of cyclone. Example, just taking on like a role of like an abusive person, or, you know, some kind of very flawed, damaged character. Okay, if I take on this role, am I able to, you know, remind myself and be kind to myself that, hey, okay, yeah, even though this is just a role, I don't have to take any of like these, you know, experiences, or even if it's reminding me of traumas from my own childhood or whatever, I have to remind myself, okay, it's just a role. Like, you know, after that, get it like go out, just, you know, just, you know, just meditate, do whatever you got to do to just clear your mind. So I think it's just being human.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
How about for you? Because like you do music, you do film, you do like you're doing so many different things. Like how do you navigate that kind of like feeling of like constantly wanting to like, I guess like strive for even better? Because you know, like to trying so many new things or doing so many things.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's something that I love, and it's something that I feel from within, you know? It's all like emotions and everything. I mean, trust me, I've had like a love and hate relationship with music.
Right.
You know, some days I'm like, I'm gonna quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm done. And then the next thing I know, I need music to like, you know, go by my day or something like that, right? Or before I sleep, I need to listen to music. So that's how I kind of realized that, you know, music is something that I cannot live without, and I enjoy it regardless. And like you just said, you know, it's like, it's just to send awareness and message, and you know, it's just like, it's beyond what people might like take it as, you know, like for people music is just like, I don't know, songs that are on the playlist, or for in terms of like movies, it's just like, you know, you go and watch it on theaters, but you don't know the BTS, like the behind the scenes, you know, the emotional there's a journey that you have to go through, you know. And I think like every single time that you put out your song or you get into a certain character, you give a little part of yourself in it as well. And that's how it gets super personal to you. And yeah, I guess that's just how I know how, how to navigate. I don't know how to navigate, but I do at the same time.
Honestly, I feel like that's totally fair. And I mean, when do we ever really know how to, like, I feel like something like that is kind of ever changing anyway.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. How about you?
oh. See?
Can't dodge this question. Come on now.
Oh God. Okay. I mean, as you all know, kind of wading into the creative space. Again, there's no kind of a how-to book on how to just
Right.
do it. Like, you could teach me how to do arithmetic or something, and if you do it enough times, it's like, okay, I got it. But for art, everything, like, it forces you through this trial of fire of like everything is just trial and error.
Right.
Even if you put your art out, right, to like the world, even if it's something that like maybe objectively you think this piece is better than this piece or this thing you did is better than the other, like at the end of the day, it's kind of just a matter of like luck and vibes. I put that terribly, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, everything is kind of subject to, I guess, like the whims of the world around you, which is just something that we can't control. And like, that's kind of something that also, I guess, I realized being kind of experimental with like acting. I mean, acting was never my plan, for example. I also tried directing once. It was bad. Bad. Too much pressure for me. I can't handle pressure, clearly. But yeah, for acting at least, like, I was painfully shy. I'm very socially anxious as well, and to kind of, and like I'm the kind of person who doesn't even take selfies. Like I was that averse to being perceived by the world around me, which is ultimately something that is inevitable and
Right.
like unavoidable. But for just out of sheer curiosity, I guess, and out of this sheer will just to kind of indulge in the escapism of it, just to like, what does it feel like to do this? What does it feel like really
Right.
to just ignore this, like when you're doing a speech and people say like, oh, picture, like they're all just like potatoes or like lettuce, like,
Right.
imagine you do that and then you just like try to infuse, like you said, like a little bit of yourself into everything. And you find that like, I guess no matter what kind of person or entity you're trying to play, like I think because we have such a capacity for like connection and like empathy and stuff like that, especially as actors, you all know, like it does get kind of draining at the end of the day. You do take after take after take.
Right.
It's just like the same thing. And what if the line isn't how you would exactly say it? Or what if this wasn't right? Or, there's so much subject to, I guess, like the collaborative nature of art that I feel like at the end of the day, it's because it's so tempestuous. It's just, it's a lot of ups and downs.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And, and I think that's another reason too, why as artists, a lot of us are kind of just like, I don't know, we're like, how people say, oh, like artists, you're like we're all just damaged people, whatever. Cause like we draw from our own experiences.
Yes, I mean.
It's like hard. It's like, that's why we're able to tell such good stories.
It do be like that sometimes.
Right. And so, Shannon, so you've gone from Coachella stages to major film sets, and then Evelyn, you you helped decide like what stories make it onto like Prime Video. So I want to know like when did it kind of like hit for each of you? Like, oh wow, like I'm actually making an impact in culture right now.
I think like for me it was like like highlights throughout my career and even today, where I've seen that I've made a little bit of impact. And I think like I said, for me music is like beyond just like the thing that you see on the surface. It's something that I want to put some sort of a message across, and awareness of certain topics and things like that. So I remember when I did a song that was based on anti-bullying, and it was called Give Me Your Hand. My younger sister Annabelle and we wrote the song, and it was produced by Kyle Townsend. Again, like that song was based on our personal experiences that we had faced in the industry while, being a young, by being a young brown girl trying to like accomplish her dreams and, what things that she kind of like faces and the kind of people that she has to like, go through.
Absolutely.
And so I think like after that song, I realized that I was being recognized, I was being noticed. It even won the HMMA awards.
Right.
So I think that was like the moment where I was like, okay, like my songs are making an impact, it's getting across to the audience and they're feeling it and they're resonating with, with my songs and, what I'm talking about. And just like that, like, every single time that I've put some music out, I really focus on like the audience's feedback, whether they like it or not. And I think like that's how I've been able to sort of, evaluate, which direction should I go on to. And yeah, just like you said, like being on Coachella, that was like a dream come true for me, being a brown girl, performing at Coachella was just like absolutely amazing. And I think it was just, I think it was for me to kind of open this door for all the other, girls and boys out there, who are brown or who are like, just a different person of color. And I think like it's just, breaking those boundaries and breaking those doors down so that all the other people, all the other talented artists can also get through it and, showcase their talent. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just inspiring so many. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. And that is like so cool too that you got a chance to perform at Coachella. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Like my only ask for this year for Coachella is I get a ticket. All right.
I mean, yeah. Speaking of, okay, so your Coachella performance, was there like, I guess, like any specific standout moments or something like during your time there where you were kind of like it was like really hitting you like, oh, this is happening, like this is why I'm here.
That's
like,
a good question.
Yeah, was there like anything that you like distinctly remember from that?
Yeah, I think like right before getting onto the stage to perform, I was getting like all nervous and jittery and, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is actually happening. This is what I've been waiting for all my life. I hope I don't, ruin it. I hope I don't fall or something. But I was really enjoying it. It's just the kind of energy that you get, when you're just accomplishing your dream. And I think I kind of zoned out. I was just vibing with like, the audience and everybody. And it was just really fun. And I think that was the moment where I was like, okay, I'm, living my dreams. And this is fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's what you were born to do.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. Yes.
But how about yourself, Evelyn?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Right. You knew we were coming back to you, right?
I do also want to know like your answer as well because I feel like the three
Absolutely.
of us all do very different things.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
I guess, well, since I work as a reader most of the time because I've always loved books growing up. I've always just been really drawn to story, and however that comes across, like film, acting, I guess in a way. But reading was always my thing, and to be able to do that for work was a surprise. First of all, I didn't even know that was a thing you could do for work, and at first it seems like, because, again, the entertainment industry is really inundated with so many stories. There's like an infinite number of stories to tell from everyone.
Absolutely.
And so, as you also both know, there are so many like scripts and books by so many talented people that just fly under the radar or, aren't seen by like the right creatives to help make it a reality. And at first, kind of interning and then moving through that world, it felt like, I mean, I guess, sure. Like, what's next?
Yeah.
We each have different tastes. We each have different things we like. Sometimes if you read things you don't like, which is inevitable, it'll feel like it's a kind of a slog. I'm not going to lie. But then finding the eureka moment was like, oh my God, this is so good. And I like fingers crossed it becomes something. I remember, I guess, one of the moments, this was not for Amazon, actually. This was when I was still an intern. I was working at a production company that was, focusing on Asian-led stories. I read this book called The Thousand Crimes of Mingsu. It's an Asian revisionist Western about a cowboy who, goes on a revenge quest. It's very McCarthy-esque. I don't know if either of you have heard of Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. It's okay.
No,
It's a nerd thing. It's a nerd thing. But the style was really like McCarthy-esque, and I was like, historically, his books have become great movies. Like No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
That's one of his. Right. All the Pretty Horses is also one of his, and a bunch of others. So I was like, okay, I see something here. Maybe it's not like the perfect book. There's no such thing, but like there's potential. I could see it so clearly. And so I recommended it. And at the time, my supervisors called me like a day or two after. They were like, I don't understand this thing. And they grilled me for an hour about like, this part doesn't make sense. That part doesn't make sense. Like I'd read the book twice because it was a confusing book. It's very dense in terms of its like lyricism and stuff. It's very abstract. And they were like, I don't understand this. Like, why didn't they just do this? Like XYZ. And I was here trying to defend it and feeling like, I think my opinion's not that good, apparently. After I finished the internship, a few months later, I was meeting up with that old supervisor for lunch. And they were like, hey, remember that cowboy book you read? The one that we all hated. And then I was like, yeah, I love that book. And then they were like, yeah, well, Blue Marble just purchased the rights for it to get it adapted. And they're looking at, like, I think at the time they were looking at an actor who I had said, like, oh, he'd be perfect for this. But yeah, they got it and like they paid like a lot for it. And I was really excited hearing that, like, oh my God, like to feel that there's some kind of resonance in your opinion, even though I didn't have a role in someone else taking it, but to feel like, the way you see the artistic world, some people will resonate with was, I don't know, it felt very gratifying in the moment. I felt so good. I was like, I told you.
Did it.
But yeah, it's just a matter of like things like that.
Yeah.
Just seeing little gems where maybe other people don't see it. Like subjectivity.
Absolutely. And I mean, and it sounds to me like, even your take on that book and even just pitching that and just talking to them about that, like, yeah, it paid off in the long run. Cause like now you're deciding it and being part of like, you're in that room where it happens, so to speak. Like, hey, like, let's look at this work. Okay. Are we going to adapt this? Okay. What about this? So, you've come a long way. So yeah.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I would say the aha moment kind of came about. Honestly, I would say there's probably 3 different aha moments. One for like just acting in general. Another one for music because I do music as well. I rap and sing.
Okay.
And then
Talented.
I try to keep busy when I can.
Yeah.
And then also via this podcast. So I guess as far as just like, rapping, I've been, making music since the first time I ever like made a song when I was like 13 or 14 and like bought like this like cheap software called Music Creator and just doing like all the beats and instrumentals and just, just rapping and singing. And I was like, I kind of like this. And it wasn't until like, I don't know, like in college that like I like bought like a iMac or whatever. And was just like really, okay, I'm going to just lean into this craft, see like, if I still like making music, like, or was it just, me just having fun? And I was like, damn, I actually like doing this. I want to continue doing this. And so just kept up with it. And in Chicago, before COVID, I was like performing at just like, just local nightclubs downtown Chicago and just like smaller stages. So like, done some stuff at like Subterranean for those Chicago folks, what that is. But yeah, and then, once COVID hit, of course, everything, like no one was doing anything. We were all just virtuals. And then I was in a relationship during COVID. So I was like, okay, well, I got to focus on that. And then it wasn't until honestly, maybe about last year-ish, 2024, so I guess almost 2 years ago, that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get back into like making music because for a long time I took a hiatus because after everything opened up after COVID, I was like, I need to get back onto the stage. I missed the stage the most.
Yeah.
But anyway, making music recently, even just and I had put out this EP or whatever. I guess like fourth project technically. Long story short, so it's called Scars, and it's like all about just relationship stuff, like just the traumas that I experienced growing up, and then like the entire like project is just like an entire true story of just some of the stuff that I went through, just sharing it out on an open platform. And yeah, the responses that I got from it was just very heartwarming. People just DMing me and or even just like commenting and say, hey man, thank you for sharing your story, or even just posting like like the little reel clips or whatever, like on Instagram, and seeing the comments there. I'm like, all right, like I'm glad that my story is helping other people. Because there's a song that's called Anxiety that I did a music video for. And after I put that out, again, like just more responses. Hey, thank you for sharing about, like anxiety. Cause we all kind of go through and we all feel like the pressures of just life in general. So that, and then, with theater, just making people smile and laugh and just feel all the feels and stuff, just being a performer. I think that's like another aha moment. That as well. And then, via the podcast, I think that was like the most recent aha moment, because the podcast, I started this 3 years ago, and I was just talking about like, I can't be the only one going through like the modern dating, like kind of just, I don't know, frustrations, like, people ghosting or bad communicators and all this and all that. Like, and so, it was just like a few episodes of me just sharing my story, of course, not naming names or anything like that, but just sharing my story. And then people started to like email the podcast. Hey, this person said this or did this. Can you unpack this on your show? Let us know what you think. And so I just started to just take listener submissions, and then people start to like, either email or DM me on Instagram. Hey, can I come on the show to talk about this? Oh yeah, for sure. Come on. Like, I'd love to have you. And then, like the more guests I had, the more kind of just networking, like even like Christian, like just... I can say that I'm glad that this podcast has helped so many people, because again, even just looking at like the comments on social media, whenever I post a clip and just like looking, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I think I'm supposed to be doing this. So I'll keep doing it for as long as I can.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. If I actually do have another follow-up question.
Absolutely.
About what you just said, because
sure.
Something really struck me about your response, actually. So you mentioned you took a hiatus when creating music, and as we all know, like there's some sort of like underlying like trepidation and fear when it comes to like creating something and then like releasing it to the world. Like it's your baby and you're like letting it go like to the masses. Can I ask? And obviously you don't have to answer anything that I ask.
Oh, no worries. I'm very transparent. I would answer any question you have for me.
It's like valid, but it bears noting anyway. But yeah, like, so how did it feel kind of wading back into the world of music after the hiatus, and like with all the ups and downs of like everything going on in the world around you? Like, how did you know it was like, okay, now's the time. Now is the time to do it. And like, how did you feel kind of re-entering a world that you stepped back from?
Yeah, I feel like it was almost like I was kind of disservicing. I'm making up a word here, but disservicing myself. Yeah, right? Because I know disservice, but disservice, yeah, sure, yeah.
I'll take it, yeah.
But I was just like, okay, well, I haven't done this, in about a few years, and I do have a story that I want to tell that I've been meaning to just openly share, because again, having this podcast and just sharing about who I am and just my own story, I was like, okay, well, I'd love to do that on the music side. And so the long story short is, I just knew that there was just some things about myself that I wanted to just get off my chest. And I just felt like that time was the perfect time, especially since I had just moved from Chicago, just doing a whole life transition. So I'm like, okay, this is going to kick off this next phase of my life and just talk about everything.
That totally makes sense. Did you feel?
How about you, Shannon? Yeah.
When you came to LA, or like when you like moved, or have you ever kind of felt that kind of uphill thing and then the roller coaster,
I think that was there from like the very beginning, you know?
Valid too.
Just like, again, like you said, you moving from Chicago and I was moving from like New York or let's say like London, and I had no clue what was gonna happen. You know, I just had one thing in my mind is like, this is what my dream is and I need to accomplish this. I want to accomplish it. And obviously like throughout this journey, you know, I've learned a lot. I've failed a lot. I've, you know, made mistakes a lot. And I think it's just part of you.
Yeah.
And, you know, you grow into it. And that's, I think that is your story. So whenever like people used to ask me, what's your story? I would be like, no, what is my story? But now I do know, like, this is what it is. And, you know, it's like, I'm not chasing after perfection. It's just, you know, I'm like gradually letting people know who I am, you know? And I want to let them know that, hey, I'm not going to be perfect, but hopefully through my story and through my experiences, you might be able to learn something, or you might be able to resonate yourself with me. And we'll go hand in hand together on this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it just reminds us all of how important like the arts is, because like sometimes not only does art imitate life, but also it kind of just reminds us, oh, wait a minute, I'm not the only one that's, you know, going through something. There's other people out there, you know, that have stories to tell, that are, you know, yeah, that just want to share something. So yeah.
That's true. I mean, the like just the sheer fact that, you know, we're all human. Art in of itself is inherently like incredibly human and like collaborative and stuff like that. Even if there's a story that's vastly different from your own, the beauty of it is that there's like always some sort of universality that like you can resonate with. And that's what the most powerful timeless stories are, right? There are things with like themes that are evergreen, things that like maybe you relate to, maybe you see yourself or the world around you in, and that just like are just unerringly, like undoubtedly just like flawed and like human, and just it's all of those things like you've all said before. That's the beauty of art, which I think is pretty neat.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really, really is. And so you both actually worked on the project, The Narcissist. So what was like, I guess, a kind of behind the scenes moment that kind of made you laugh, panic, or think, oh man, like this is exactly like why Hollywood is just like, is just all over the place or just wild. Like you share some fun stories about what it was like doing that project, and kind of share with our listeners, more about what The Narcissist is.
Gosh, I think you were on set for more days than I was, for sure. So like, was there any stuff that I missed when I was, when you were there?
No, it was just a casual day. Honestly, it was great. Yeah, we got through like tons of scenes and it was pretty awesome. But yeah, no, I mean, I think like it's just, again, like I said, it's just in a different atmosphere, a different environment. You get to see so many people, and then as soon as like the camera is on, you get into your character, right? And it's just always fun. And I think like, even though we always get like these call sheets, we're always running behind, right? That's like the biggest thing. And I think like whenever we're on time, everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is great, let's just like get through the day, you can do it all. And I think it's just like the whole energy and keeping everybody like energized throughout the day, because like it's a lot. Sometimes we have to go through like dramatic scenes, other times we have to go like through just other kind of scenes. And also like with The Narcissist, that's what the theme is. It's pretty intense and pretty deep. And so my character being a supporting role of Amber, like I share a strong bond with the lead, Liz. And I just had to feel that, so like we're at lunch and everybody's like laughing and chilling, and we're cracking jokes and things like that. But as soon as we get onto like our, positions and the camera's on, we're like, so I think that's just the fun of it. So yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Thank God. But yeah, I mean, no, that's definitely true. Cause like, like you said, The Narcissist thematically, it's very timely, and it's very relevant. And I do think that, people will, like, there's many people out there who have been through similar situations and, like, maybe didn't see those signs. And because for example, it is about like an abusive relationship, and things like gaslighting and manipulation and abuse manifest in so many different ways, shapes, and forms
Yeah.
that, even for someone who might know all the telltale signs of it, it's one thing to learn about it. It's another to kind of be caught in the storm of it,
Right.
because oftentimes it's so subtle, and it's so just like the roots grow really deep for it. And so I guess being able to be on set and kind of like have a hand in telling such a powerful message and story was also, it's very gratifying as well, because like you said, like one moment everyone's like, this is so fun, and then as soon as it's like we're rolling, then it's like we're headed straight back into this like very murky, very grim territory, but like very necessary. It's
Absolutely.
necessary to tell these kinds of stories as well. And I guess another thing is that, at least when we were on set together, it's not, a lot of our filming days are not just scene, 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 done, bye. A lot of it is, scene, and then like when there's a brief moment, oh, we're also doing other elements to help cobble everything together. That's the nature of like indie filmmaking, right? So we do a scene, and then while this camera setup is changing, we're going to do some marketing and other things.
Yeah.
We were in Temecula for one of the days that we were on set together at this really gorgeous winery. And I remember one of the film's partners, Kenai's house, they brought their little canine friend, and we did like a little video together. It was so wholesome, and it was so cute. And
Right.
I think that really emphasizes how like the power of storytelling really does bring like literally all walks of life, and like all types of like people and characters together, all in aid of like a really important message.
So like as women of color kind of navigating like some of like, the Western kind of entertainment spaces, what's one stereotype that you've personally shattered, and one that you're actively working to push back against? And I know this one's like more of a deeper question, but like this is definitely helping our audience kind of know not only more about you, but the impact of your work.
There are a lot of very prevalent like prejudices and discourses, especially surrounding like women of color, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I am an East Asian woman. I'm also, not American. And y'all would be surprised at how many times people will say to me, "Oh my God, you have no accent. Wow, your English is so good."
Oh, no, I
my
hate
gosh.
when that, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of, and they'll mistakenly assume, my ethnicity, or, all of those types of things. And obviously there's a lot of very damaging like views and images that people will have of, for example, like East Asian women. There's like the model minority myth. There's this idea that women in general as well are like meek and like subservient and like soft-spoken. The tough part of that was, because that's kind of a societally ingrained thing that so many people are taught and socialized to believe and enact. Growing up, I was very like quiet and like soft-spoken and super shy, and never stood up for myself. And it really took, honestly, coming to America and like meeting so many people and going to a school and being in LA where everyone is very comfortable with kind of engaging in discourse like this. That's a really good thing about LA, right? You're going to meet so many people with so many different identities who are like more than okay engaging in the intersectionality of who we all are. And I think that's so important, right? And I guess being able to first confront like who I am, you can't run from yourself, you can't hide from yourself. Like the best thing you can do for yourself is to embrace who you are, because that's when your authenticity really shows.
Yes.
Being able to like get in touch with who you are and like allow yourself the space to explore the things you like without fear of failure, or without fear of like perception from others, or maybe even like doing those things in spite of it. I didn't like jump into acting because I was like, I'm gonna be a star. I was like, honestly, I'm bored and I want to try it. Like, this is something I wanted to try when I was a kid. I was always too shy and thought I was terrible. I mean, maybe I am terrible, but it doesn't matter because I tried it, right? And then it led me to literally play a role where the character kind of subverts those expectations. I mean, my character is a terrible person for a good part of the show.
Yeah.
But to be able to enact that and have empathy as well, like to be able to resonate with it, because, you know, every person and character has their reasons and their nuances for it. And seeing that, you know, I guess being able to embody that kind of cognitive dissonance in, you know, like AUM, for example, I feel like it definitely is also a learning lesson. Like you said, life imitates art, art imitates life.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you do in art, you know, end up reflecting back in real life as well, just as the things that you experience in life go into your art. So I don't know, it's a good thing that I'm still also learning to kind of, I guess, explore about myself.
Yeah.
Way to go. That's beautiful.
Very inspiring. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Appreciate y'all.
What say you, Shannon?
I think I would I would say the same, you know. I think like the stereotypes are like very vague, and, you know, like for example, it's like the accent, or it's like the food, it's like, you know, the way that you dress or whatever it may be. And so yeah, those are something that we, you know, we being a part of the industry is something that we have to like kind of break through, and also let people know who don't have the knowledge of our culture, who still think that we're probably like our culture is still like thousands of years ago, and we're still living in those like same principles or same, you know, traditions and things like that. Like we've evolved, and, you know, and I think this is like a great platform for us to talk about it. And then I think that's the beauty of diversity. I mean, you know, no matter what you are, you know, I think like people of color share a lot of principles and a lot of moral values, you know, with each other. I'm sure like when we will start talking, there'll be like so many things that we have in common, right?
Exactly.
And I think like that's how it is. Like you should just, you know, you should never judge a book by its cover. And I think it taught me a lot too. Like I never ever judge anybody anymore, because I know how that feels to be judged or to be looked down upon, or to just, you know, be able to like say the result without even like giving that person an opportunity, right? I mean, you know, through music or just in acting or so, like I've had to deal with like all those things where people have been like, oh, you don't look Indian enough because you're not dark, or oh, you don't have like the accent, so we can't cast you for that role, or oh, you look like Middle Eastern and Latin, and I'm just like,
Come on now, right?
You know, so there's like so many people out there, right? And even though we are all about like, hey, diversity, and like we're very, you know, inclusive and stuff, I still feel like, you know, there's still a little bit of like discrimination, like, you know, in the underlayer. Like you'll still see it, like you'll still see it, you'll still feel it, right? And I think that's just what it is. Like we gotta like clean it out, like do a deep cleaning of that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And just break those stereotypes and give like, you know, all the other amazing talents an opportunity to shine regardless of their color and regardless of their gender.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you both. Because we do have like a while to go to like, you know, to continue to undo a lot of these stereotypes that are cast upon, you know, people of color like us. And so I know in my own experience, I can't tell you how many times I've heard discriminatory comments against me. For example, oh, you're so well spoken. Like you don't speak ghetto. Like
Oh,
what?
wow. Oh my God.
Well, you're not black enough, you know. So stuff like that is, or even just like example. So I used to have dreads. Like these last few years, I had dreadlocks. I cut off my locks because, unfortunately, before I grew up my locks, when I had like shorter hair, a little bit more hair than this, I was booking a lot of like dad or kind of just like roles, whatever, before I had the locks. But then when I got the locks, all of those roles, they like I never got cast in those roles ever again. And so like whether it was commercial, theater, whatever, I didn't see any of those opportunities again. And then it wasn't until like I cut my dreads literally 3 weeks ago I'm starting to book stuff again. I'm like,
What?
what the fuck?
No, that's
That is crazy.
Because and then like even like one of my agents, you know, like bless her, I love her so freaking much, and like I'm glad that like even she was on my side about this. She was like, yeah, you know, we love like, you know, your authenticity and like your black hair, like we love that. It's just unfortunately a lot of these casting directors, you know, they just have a hard bias, and of course, you know, I mean, like the entertainment industry as a whole is just misogynist, but we won't go there. But so there's just a lot of barriers, and so you know, unfortunately, we're not there where we do see like you know, I guess black doctors or lawyers on those TV shows with dreads or like curls or anything like that. We got a little bit of ways to go. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with everything you both have said. So yeah, but I think it like again that's why it's up to people like us to like go out there, make that progress, book those roles, tell our stories, right?
Totally.
Yeah. God, I'm sorry for both of you. Like,
I'm sorry for all three of us.
to have that be a part of just daily life is so, like, I mean, all people of color, like, deal with so many generations of like trauma and like hurt, and it doesn't help that, you know, a lot of what we experience in society also is based off of the construction of those very harmful, like systemic, like problems and issues.
Yeah.
And it just, it's a hard path, but one that has to be taken, because otherwise, like, sliding back down that slippery slope is worse than not pushing the boulder up the hill to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, who knows if change will come as soon as we want it to, but like,
Yeah.
to put your foot forward every single day and like be the change that you wish to see in the world, which it's a classic for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Is kind of the most that we can do. It just sucks that you kind of have to like face pebbles being thrown at you along the way. My
For
analogy
sure.
ran so far away
No,
from
I
me.
love
My
that.
God.
That was perfect. That was perfect. No, for sure. And I think it's even more important now to tell these stories, especially in today's environment, because I'm hoping that, you know, us continuing to tell these stories will one day when, you know, the world gets its shit together,
Yeah.
you know,
One day.
you know, we'll be able to look back on these moments and be like, wow, you know, we were part of that change. We actually made our voices heard. We didn't let like, you know, like certain things or certain people shut us down or silence us. So yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, art has, like, I'm sure, like, you all know, like, deep down as well, like, art has the power to change the world. It has the power to like truly move like everyone, no matter what walk of life, no matter where they come from or anything like that. And the fact that art is also systemically being looked down upon as something lesser than, because it's not as like capitalistic in value or gain,
Right.
is also that, like, that feeds into that system. It's like that one quote in Dead Poet Society, which I don't remember because my memory's not that good.
It's a good movie, but yeah,
It's a great movie. It's a classic. It's a classic.
Right.
But like, that's the thing, you know, like yeah, poetry, art, acting, like film, like the things that humans create, like those come from that deep core inside of us that make us unique as a species, right? And like, as a species that is inherently like social and community oriented, like, it's really sad to see that the thing that makes us so distinct and wonderful is the thing that's being tamped down in favor of like the cogs of society, like in favor of like capitalism and all of these things.
Totally.
Sucks.
Exactly. Oh yeah. No, so I'm glad that, you know, you both are, you know, doing the work that you're doing on your end to continue to make your voices and so many other voices heard. So
Oh, thank you too.
absolutely. And so we do have a few listener submissions, a few screenshots they want us to unpack. But before we get to that, I have one more question for you both. It's a more so about like, you know, like art and activism. So I kind of want to know. So, you both do balance art with, activism, human rights, social change, community work. I want to know, how do you protect your creativity without burning out, especially when the work gets heavy?
I kind of detach myself completely, and I think like because it's so emotionally draining, right? And you put a lot of your effort into whatever is it that you're doing, and so you just got to step back a little, and you need to like be grateful for all the opportunities that you've gotten. Look back at your journey and see how far you've come, because that will always bring a smile on your face. And along the way, also don't forget to give back to the society. So whether that's like being part of certain organizations or just helping. I mean, it's not a lot, just to make somebody happier, make somebody smile, you just need to like, it's just a small gesture that you need to make. And so for me, my heart goes to the voiceless animals, right? And I want to be their voice. I want to make a change. I want to make this world a better place for them. And so I'm always there, just like fighting for their rights and everything. And at the same time, I'm big on mental health as well. So again, making sure that that there are people who are need of help, that I'm there to to help them. Just because I'm an artist and I have like 3 point something million followers does not mean that you can't reach me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm there, I'm a human being too. I've gone through things, I've gone through anxiety, I've gone through depression, and I feel you, and I hear you as well. So I think that's what it is that, sets me apart, and just helps me kind of get back into my game in a much stronger way.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
like I mean, I can like tell from whenever like we spend time together, and just in general, like your outlook on just treating people and like the world around you is just one of kindness, which I feel like is the most important thing at the end of the
Right,
day.
totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there's just there is so much good and there is so much bad in this world. There's also so much nuance and complexity into like who we all are individually as people, and how we go about interacting with the world around us, and how like our identities and intersectionality also impacts that as well. There's so much value in just things like educating yourself and educating those around you, or like engaging with the world in a way that you want to see the world engage back with you, because they're like, it's so easy to
Yeah.
feel prone to like bitterness or negativity, because there is so much going around. But to realize that, that is not a reflection of you, and it's also like you have the power and the ability to just, even if you're making one person's day better, and maybe even if that person for today is you, that's still a superpower, I think.
Absolutely.
Totally, yeah.
I agree
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, I guess being able to find that kind of joy and the goodness and the potential for that in like everything that you do and in those around you is, I think, for many, just incredibly crucial to being able to like not burn out as well.
For sure.
Yeah, even for art, even if it's something that like you feel like, I was born to do this. I have endless, like, I have so many ideas, like I have the drive, I have the creativity. Like there are times when we all burn out, and I guess being able to find the thing that drives you, the thing that sustains you, the passion that like kind of burns within you, right? I think that's also the core to building, like, I guess, building and fostering growth around you in general as well.
Absolutely. I love that. I love how you put that, because like, even, just, and I'm sure like, you both get this as well, but like, yeah, no matter what form of art that you're taking on, you're going to feel some burnout, here and there, because it's like, we're working hard to, do what we do best and tell the stories, in front of us. But and I want to say maybe in the last few years, I started to like think and like, I don't know, maybe this is a quote out there. Like if so, someone comment and let me know. But my take these last few years, I was like, okay, if you've never experienced burnout in whatever art form or whatever it is that you're doing, then you haven't worked hard enough.
That's good. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You know, so because like, yeah, if you're, you know, continuing to own your craft, do your thing, yeah, you're going to get tired because that's just part of trying and trying and trying. So yeah. And if that's not a quote, I'm copywriting that.
Now, sorry.
Right.
So I guess like for the both of you as well, how do you deal with the burnout? How do you like conquer it or wade through it or like face it? Like are there concrete things that you do to like get you out of a slump, or like what's your process?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Me too.
I wish you was about to say vacation.
yeah, a vacation if I get a chance. Yeah. But I think apart from that, I think it's just like family and friends, you know? They're the ones who've been there with you since day one. So I think like just shutting all of that down, you know, like whatever is at your work, your, you know, social media.
Oh yeah.
Even though I love social media, but still, you know, sometimes it can get like, of course, and the people, you know, because like they take so much of your energy. I'm not a talker in general, like in personal life, like I'm very introvert, and so like I've been on meetings and on calls that are like 2 hours and 3 hours long, and I'm just like, I can't. My brain is like, I zone out like 20 minutes after. I'm sorry. Like, and it's just out of respect, I can't be like, you know, hey, I gotta go. You know, my mom is like, you've been on the phone for a really long time. And I'm like, I know, but that's just how it is. And I think like, yeah, just going out. And like I said, you know, I think like finding something that you love, or, you know, just like find something that's therapeutic to you. You know, for example, for me, it's like coloring. So I find that like super therapeutic. I have 2 dogs, so playing with them, being around with them, you know, that's very therapeutic to me. You know, being around with family or going out to watch the movies, you know, like something super, super simple. I mean, we don't have to like take a flight to like, you know, the Bahamas or something like that. Even though I would love to.
Right,
yeah. Just like totally cut off from like everything, right? Yes. But yeah, it's just like the small things. And, you know, I think like, again, like getting that gratitude within you, you know, being grateful. Because I think like we also tend to get this, you know, in this competitive world, we try to be selfish and we try to like start competing with each other, and we get into this really like frustrating and you know, crazy like mindset that, oh, we gotta like get this, we gotta do this, right? And I think like
fighting for the algorithm.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, whether it's like the algorithm, the numbers, the streams, you know, it's like so much competition, and I think like that's when you need to kind of just like relax and just be, you know, mindful. And I think for me recently I've been drawn towards like spirituality a lot, and I think that's given me a lot of clarity. I'm less anxious now because, you know, I know like my directions, and I'm not like overthinking about the future, because that scares me. Like I don't know what the future holds, right? But one day we'll get to that. You know, it's like baby steps, right?
Absolutely.
Just being able to enjoy the present and not ruin your present because of, you know, the future that you don't even know. It's unknown. So yeah, that's just what it is. Just being like, you know, peaceful from your mind and from your heart, doing good for the society, for your community, and again, like, you know, encouraging others.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that definitely helps us stay grounded. Yeah, I feel like for me, yeah, definitely, you know, family, friends, and even just reminding myself to just pace myself and not try to do 1 million things at once, because I know we all try to do that, right?
Right, totally. Hustle culture for you.
Ain't it? Ain't that the truth? Especially even, you know, today, how we were just talking about social media and how it's just like, if you're not posting at least once or twice or 3 times a week, you know, like you get lost at, like in the feed, and like, you know, people don't find your content. So you got to like and comment and share. So it's just, Yeah, I think just taking a break whenever I can, and then taking a vacation ever so often. I wish I could take more vacations. If I had to average out my vacation time, like actually like traveling outside of just just traveling elsewhere, is probably like a travel once every 2 or 3 years. Is like a lot of domestic stuff or whatever, mostly for business. It's never like, let me just hop on a flight to just go somewhere warm because I just want to relax.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. How about you, Evelyn?
That makes sense. I mean, looks like what's next in the cards for you? Maybe a weekend trip that's not business?
Yes, please. I need it.
Like, everybody, please. Oh my God. No, totally and also totally valid as well. I feel like, I mean, I don't deal with burnout very well myself because in the past I've had trouble with, I guess, being firm on boundaries. I think as artists as well, especially if you're public facing, there's this pressure to essentially like keep on giving, keep on creating, keep
Right.
on like serving like your audience and serving. It feels like you're serving yourself as well. Like I have to get these things out, and it's a very difficult divide to come to terms with. That in order to best serve those around you, you also have to serve yourself as well. Like we've all done things when we're burnt out or when we're on the verge of burning out, where it's like, for some reason, this product or this work of art that I have created, it's just not good. It's just not good enough, right? I don't know why. And to be able to take a step back in retrospect and be able to see, okay, it's because I was exhausting the creative drive and like the thing that's supposed to fuel me, it was gone. And because for a lot of people as well, the joy of creation, the more you do something you love for work, for example, or for money, the easier it becomes that the reward you get from it is only external. That's like a whole thing, like the internal versus external reward you get from things.
Yeah.
The trouble with art, I feel like, is also that, the more you do it, the more you just start to kind of get enmeshed in like the external rewards of it. And you start to slowly lose the bits of yourself that really gain the value from the internal work. And so I guess for me, when there's nothing that I want to do, like even the idea of just sitting down to watch a new TV show is way too much. I'm very much a movie person, 2 hours and I'm done. I think that speaks to my attention span as well. But I started junk journaling last year, which it was also a test in like, okay, if I can tell myself that this thing that people say is like frivolous, if I can do this, I can create art. It's just junk. It's memories and it's junk. I can configure it in any way I want. No one's rushing me. No one's expecting perfection. Like, it doesn't have to look good. Like, the important thing is that you do it and that you get it done. And kind of forcing myself under that like the little microscope where it's like, so like I'm doing this and it doesn't have a purpose. I'm not gonna show people this. I mean, if you can see it if you want, it's just junk altogether. But like to be able to at least find a form of release and relaxation, like there's no expectation of it, I feel like is also very freeing. Which is why when you mentioned like coloring and stuff or like spending time with your dogs, like there's no expectation for you to be a certain way or like do a certain thing. You just allow yourself to do it, and it's like there's something about the routine and like the actual hands-on of it that is very gratifying. I don't know.
Yes, I love it. Yeah. And also on the side, I think another thing that helps me relax is I'm such a foodie. I love cooking food and all the things.
Gosh, yeah.
Okay.
But my favorite food in the entire world, and like my listeners, they know this. I'm like a huge fan of sushi. I just treat myself to sushi ever so often. That's my relaxation.
There you go. Yeah. Everything.
Everything,
Sweet.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, with food, I'm just like, let it in, you know.
Exactly.
Come on in. I don't care. Sushi, Indian, you know, Mediterranean. It's all good. I love it.
Honestly,
Yeah.
same. Do you
That-
have a recommended sushi spot?
Yeah, so I highly recommend here Fishy Fishy. It's in K-Town, like, but it's a very, very, very good spot.
Okay.
Very high quality sushi, and yeah, it's fairly reasonable. I won't say like the most reasonably priced, but it's fairly reasonably priced. Yeah, so like that spot for sure. Or if like anybody wants like good quality all you can eat sushi, I would recommend either there's this place literally called All You Can Eat Sushi and Barbecue and Korean barbecue. So like it's in K-Town as well. But then there's another all you can eat spot called Sushi by Jen in the Valley, and that's another great spot too. Yeah.
Well, okay. I think I've heard of that last one.
Yeah.
Okay. I've added those to my list. I will write them down actually later. Is there any spot that you've like found recently that like you really enjoyed? I need to expand my palate as well. So
Okay, well, if you are into Indian food, I would say there's this really cool place called Spice Affair, which I think it's somewhere in Beverly Hills. But it's got great food. You know, you got like your naans in it, you got your lentils, you got your like everything that you crave for.
And I love it spicy too.
yes.
Yeah.
Great spice. Great.
Exactly.
If you can handle the spice, that's for you.
okay, love.
Yes. How about you? Any restaurant you recommend?
Ooh. So okay, I just got back from visiting home for a couple of months, and one place I am looking forward to going back to is NBC Seafood in the San Gabriel Valley. It's the food there it's pretty good, and all the staff there are really nice. My roommates and I would go almost every week before I left, and we went there so often that the ladies like recognized me, and every time we go over there, like, how are you? Like, what are you doing? No boyfriend.
Love that.
Course, of course.
Right.
And it just the vibes are pretty. It feels pretty authentic as well. And that whole thing is like when you go to like a restaurant or like a shop is authentic when you see like the old folks there.
Yeah.
Or, like there's like certain quirks about it that are
Totally.
like that. I feel like for NBC Seafood, it's kind of like that. Like there's lots of tables of like old like Chinese like aunties and uncles and grannies and grandpas just like eating there, and they've got the lazy Susans and the
Oh,
carts.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I am excited to go back and like say hi and like get the food there again.
Right on. Oh, you know what? There is one more spot I want to recommend too, and for anybody that's out here in SoCal. So, over in near Woodland Hills, there is this place called Bly, and it's it's like black soul food and Thai Asian like Thai food fusion. It is so damn good. I highly recommend it. BLAI.
Yeah.
Like the restaurant owners, he's a black guy. I forget where he's from, but I believe he's a Creole, if I'm not mistaken. I'm Creole as well, so Creole, Haitian, Native American. So, but anyway, like he and his wife, so she's Thai. They were like, okay, you know what? We really love food. We love making our own food of our cultures. But what would happen if we blended our culture's food together?
Amazing.
And so I highly recommend. I'll definitely, give you all the details to that place for sure.
Oh my gosh. That sounds so cool.
Yeah. It's gotten to a point where it's like now you have to like book a reservation at least a couple days in advance because people are like waiting outside just to get in, and it's like an hour or 2 hour wait.
What?
And one time I went with a friend, and my friend, she forgot to book the the RSVP because she was the one that was telling me about it. So me, I'm a planner at heart. I love planning things in advance. I will give you a time, date, and place. Like I am a planner. So unbeknownst to me, I thought my friend was gonna go ahead and do all that because she's the one who told me about it. I had no idea about it. And so we get there, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so our name is already on the list. And she looked at me like, No.
Oh God.
But so just a heads up, like I know from firsthand experience that you don't want to wait.
Noted, but I mean, it's worth the wait too. Is what
It's so worth the wait.
Yeah, I'm totally trying that one.
Yes. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, can you do me a really quick favor? Can you please rate and review this podcast? Like hit that 5-star review and I do read all the reviews because this helps me know how this podcast is helping others and how this podcast is serving you, because my job as a host is to serve you this podcast the way that you would prefer it to be. So we got a few listener submissions here, and I want to say thank you to the listeners for submitting this. If you want to be part of the show and submit your stories and you want me and a guest on Pat, go to situationspodcast.com/submit. It's an anonymous form. And yeah, go ahead and submit anything you want us to talk about. So we got a few here, and they all come from Hinge. So this first one says, what if I told you that I'm deleting this app after Coachella. Skull emoji. Not a dating app girly. All right. So I was like, okay, like Coachella.
Well, thanks for that.
So is this Hinge or unhinged? Right? Hinge or unhinged? Like someone only uses a dating app just to find other people to go to a festival with. Is this Hinge or unhinged?
If I could, I would have done that myself. I mean, because I go to these events by myself, so I would probably need a date, But I don't know. I would go for unhinged.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I feel like of all the apps you could have used to find a friend for Coachella, Hinge?
Right of all.
Yeah.
I am sorry. I'm sorry that you felt like you had to do this. The world is a tough place.
Yeah. I guess when all else fails and you need like a plus one or something, just go on Hinge, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
It certainly is an option.
I've also heard that people have also been going into LinkedIn or whatever to date people.
I've heard that.
It's wild.
Oh my God.
Deep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh my God. I'll have to find a post and show you. But people be knowing they have all the tricks. I'm like, I have never thought of doing that in my life.
Right.
I just don't think I'm resourceful enough. Clearly, dang.
Exactly. It's like you walk out with the date and a job, I guess. I don't know.
There you go. Bonus.
This next one says, my biggest date fail. Gotta be having a camera shoved in my face and forced to take couple pictures on the meet and greet, cringe emoji. Is this Hinge or unhinged?
So on the meet and greet, is it this a specific event or just when we met, being forced to take a couple
Yeah. I
think it's the first date.
The first date.
Okay, just ooh.
Yeah, that's wild.
Great.
I'm thinking unhinged.
Yeah, as someone who's kind of averse to photos in general, I would opt for
Yeah, me too.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Because it's you barely know this person and you're just meeting up for the first time.
Right.
And then they're like, hey, want to get in my selfie? I'm going to send this to my friends and family and let them know about
it. Or what, you're live streaming our dinner or something. It's oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
Oh, I can't. Oh,
but you know what? We are in LA, so we can't put that past anybody.
Exactly.
I know,
Which is
right?
why this is waking nightmare. It is
Yeah.
actually possible.
Yeah.
This could happen
It
to
could.
you.
Yeah.
Right?
You honestly, I walk out the door and I'm prepared. Somebody is gonna shove a camera or somebody's gonna start vlogging. So I just need to be hey, okay, I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, that's so terrible. It's you got a seventh sense by this point. It was
Yeah, because it's always somebody filming, isn't it? Anywhere, everywhere you go, right? You can't even hide anymore. It's just like,
it's so freaky.
it is what it is.
Exactly.
It's so sad.
And, like, speaking of which, they were like they were doing some filming and some like vlogging on like the next block over when I was like walking like my dog. And mind you, I'm just looking like an absolute mess. Like I just woke up. Like
It's always those moments.
and I didn't even like realize what was going on until like I had passed them and I just like hear them like, you know, talking into the camera and just doing like a little interview. I'm like, oh, please don't let me be on like on the reels or some comment. Hey, like that guy in the background looks kind of looks like
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's always that. I swear karma has it out for you. It's always like, oh, I'm going to get my mail. I'm going to walk my dog, you know, no contacts, you know, unwashed hair. And then it's always those moments
It is,
when they
isn't it?
catch you.
Yeah.
exactly. It's the worst.
Unhinged.
Oh yeah, unhinged for sure. I remember one time like in Chicago, and so like this is like maybe like a year and a half of me having like the podcast, right before I moved out here. Somebody had like recognized me from this podcast. Now, mind you, that was like freaking like out of nowhere because I'm like, you know, I just started this podcast. How the fuck you like even know like who the hell I am, you know? So anyway, I'm just what was I doing? Oh, sushi, of course. There's always sushi. So I'm like, you know, eating sushi or whatever, and I go to like my favorite spot, you know, and I'm just like literally shoving like sushi in my mouth because I'm like, I haven't eaten all day.
Right.
I'm hungry. I got rehearsals later. Yeah. So somebody like walks in and they're like, wait a minute, are you Sean? Like your podcast, you're dating Sean's podcast, Situaseans?
No.
Like, yeah. And I'm just like, mid by my
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That's like the one of 3 times that I've ever been like, I guess like, you know, just out and about and someone just like recognized me for like the podcast. But that one was the one that stuck out the most. That person is still listening. I just want to say like you caught me lacking, but thank you. You warmed my heart.
Yeah. Has anything like that like happened to you before where it's just like,
Right. It has to happen all the time.
Yeah.
Right. 3 million followers, like for sure.
Yeah, with like no makeup and pajamas on or something like that.
That's usually how
It's
that
like,
happens. Yeah.
It's like I don't have, I don't look good. Like, so I'll be like just like half of like in the frame, and I'll be like, or like, can you just like I don't know, like Photoshop it or something? But I think we've all had those moments, haven't we?
Exactly. Yeah. The same would have to happen to you, especially like just acting and just like, you know, the crossover as well like for you both. Yeah. How about you?
God.
You ever get caught lacking just like, man?
No, luckily not too much. Not really that I can remember. Maybe I trauma blocked it out if I have. But like usually I'm either at home or I'm like, if I go out, I have to be like, which is debilitating in its own way. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, my God. It's like, I swear, because it's always those moments.
Always.
I just got to minimize. I got to cut the problem off at the root. So not too much yet. Hopefully not too much.
Exactly. This last one here says, do you agree or disagree that give 100% to everything you do, unless you're donating blood, laughing emoji, hinged or unhinged? This one's cute.
That is cute. I feel like this is funny. I like a nice like fun joke.
I'm gonna say, because I don't know the context of maybe what this person was thinking, I'm gonna just say it's hinged because they're just saying, hey, you know, whatever you are as a person, put 100% into it, unless you're donating blood, because then you'll just die.
Yeah, there you go. I agree.
Can't argue with that. Yeah, I'll take that.
Me too.
Yeah. Very cute.
All right. Well, those listener submissions were so funny. Thank you all so much for submitting those, and thank you both for coming on to the show.
Thank you again for having us. I had a blast talking to you guys, and you know, we learned a lot, and we were able to, you know, spread a lot of great messages, I hope, to your fans and followers and listeners. So I had a great time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Really nice getting to I guess have the space to be able to discuss with you both just about everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really refreshing.
Yeah, for sure. We have so much in common, and like it's good to see other, artists out there just doing their thing. And so like I doubt this will be the last time we'll ever see or hear from each other. I'm sure we'll collaborate in some way, shape, or form. So for sure. And for our listeners and viewers, can you let us know where we can find you? If you want to let us know your social media handles, tell us all how we can connect.
Well, to find me on Instagram, all you gotta do is type in Shannon K Singer, and there I will be. And to hear my music, I go by Shannon K, so that's on Spotify and YouTube. Take a listen to it and comment under my Instagram and let me know what was your favorite song. I'd love to know.
Love that. Yes.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, you can find me at ev.1 on Instagram, and not much else because, and I guess most of the things that I've been in are currently on YouTube or will be coming out soon at some point.
Yes, stay tuned. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, whether on a boat, a plane, a train, hey, maybe you could be one of their fans. You can take Situaseans podcast with you wherever you go. We're everywhere. Like, comment, subscribe. Please do that. Share with everybody. That helps other people find this show. And I'm begging for Father algorithms to continue to to bless this podcast and bless their Instagram and all of their works and their YouTube pages and all of that. All right. So with that, I will see you all back here for the next episode in a couple of weeks. Woo!
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.